a gritty, gutty, tough team win. The Aztecs win 6-3 over Northern Illinois. Thank you guys for joining Sons of Montezuma podcast. We are here all year, all season here, recapping these games. San Diego State sports, of course. Aztecs football, the big winner this weekend. And we were out there in Illinois to see it for ourselves. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button before you do anything, before we get into all that we're going to get into. Of course, my name is Mateo. You can find me at Mateo San Diego on X, Twitter, Sons of Monty on all that good stuff, wherever you have social media. You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him. He, just got back from your homeland, the Chicagoland area. What's up, Fiend?
Oh, what a great weekend, man. It was just a fantastic reunion for me with some family, and I got to meet up with my dad from Florida there. I met up with some of his childhood friends from Logan Square, and then, taking him to the football game and getting that win on the road. That was special. And getting to sing the fight song. They sang the fight song. I was so happy. Great weekend. But glad to be back in San Diego.
Yeah, man. I shared with you my story, man. Plane took off, had to come back to Chicago. I was thinking I was going to stay another night, perhaps. Dan and James and all the other rest of the crew were still in Chicago. It didn't happen. But, man, I'm glad you had a great time. It was great to meet Papa Fiend, as I would say, and get to see him. He was wearing his NIU hat and everything, dude. So he represented. That was cool. That was cool. You guys got to experience that,
Yeah, we're both grads of each other's schools, and yeah, he proudly reps NIU, and so I do follow them when we're not playing them. I hope they win, but I had a little friendly wager that I was able to pay for dinner with.
Well, I hope everybody was following, man. We were posting pictures and videos galore. It was cool to see the Aztecs fans out there representing. I know we got some pictures up there, sonsofmontezuma.com, our photo gallery. You can check out. There were more Aztecs fans than I expected, to be honest with you. Not a ton, but there were more than I expected. But I'm glad we made the trip, man. Chicago was great to us. I personally did the Padre game on Friday. And
Cubs game.
Cubs game. I'm thinking I wanted to stay the rest of the week because, now they got to play in Wrigley tomorrow. So we could touch on that at the end. But
yeah, that was. We crashed the Lewis family's tailgate, and they had like over 100 people there, or they were expecting 100 from Oak Lawn. That's where Coach Lewis went to Richards High School, and so we met his mom, his brother-in-law. Family, friends. It was really cool to see all those people come out, and then Jared Batty's dad was there. He's from Aurora, and then I didn't get to meet the Bostic family. They're from Palatine. That's my rival high school. But I'm sure they represented it well. So that the Chicagoland Aztecs, they brought out their friends and family for the support, and felt like a pretty good crowd.
Well, it was the first road trip of the year for me, and for you as well. So it's great to get that dub, right? For the team, they got the first road win of the season, which we'll get into everything. It's not easy to do. We know that from their previous road trip to Washington State. That was a tough one. But we're sitting at 3-1. The Aztecs are at 3-1. Fiend. I think if we would have said 3-1 after 4 games to start the season, I definitely thought we could do it. It didn't happen the way I thought. I didn't think we would beat Cal. I thought we would beat Washington State. But hey, insert those, and the outlook is pretty good. The outlook is pretty good from all things considered, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think I predicted like 2-2. So to be 3-1, I'm happy with that outcome. Certainly, win over Cal, the way we beat them was pretty surprising. I don't think this game was a real big surprise. We knew it was going to be physical. We knew it was going to be a rock fight. We talked about how the teams are very similar DNA-wise. They're tough. They run the football, and that's exactly how it turned out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I do want to get into a lot of Chicago talk as the stream keeps going. We'll get into the game, but I do want to give everybody a little bird's eye view of our perspective, right? Because we were there, like you said, you went out to Coach Lewis's family's tailgate and all that good stuff. I didn't get a chance to stop by, but from our angle where we were sitting and all that good stuff, of course, we ate very well. I see Jeremy's asking if they need to start a GoFundMe for our Jenny Craig memberships. The food did look awesome. Yes, Shane. We got into the culinary delights for sure. Italian beef sandwich, dude, changed my life. Absolutely changed my life. Me and the guys went to Al's Beef down there in Wrigleyville, and we're all just like looking at each other while we're eating this. Like, I can't believe this is so good.
Did you get it dipped? Did you get it dipped in the au jus?
Oh yeah, dude. It was completely smothered.
So
it was
good.
great. Yeah, way better than a Philly cheesesteak by far.
For sure.
No comparison. So, anyways, before we get into the game, we're gonna show you guys a little quick little highlight video from see what you guys think, so you can see it up close and personal. A little bit of our experience. So, check it out.
Fucking bomb. Damn it. Go Aztecs. Let's get this done. No, we're gonna even tell. It's the right hand black out to our teams. San Diego Aztecs fight! SDSU, SDSU, Aztecs fight! Woo! Let's go! Let's go, boys! Let's go!
I had to splice that up a little bit, show your celebration there at the end, dude. You were out there by the band, by the rest of the Aztecs fans on the visitors side. Me and the guys, we were behind the south end zones. I want to say, where all
you guys were in the shade.
Students. We were in the shade, dude. Oh
yeah.
It wasn't that bad, but
it was. I would tell you what, it was hot for Chicago standards, and the sun, beating down on us. I had sunscreen. I'm pretty worn out after that game. Not as worn out as James, though.
The pictures prove it. We got the evidence. No, that south end zone was really cool. As you guys know, Northern Illinois is going to be joining the Mountain West next season, right? So I thought this was a pretty cool trip for us to check out, get that last opportunity. Obviously, we're not going to be in the Mountain West, but at least we get that opportunity to play them before we dip out. And it was interesting, right? It's not a very big stadium at all. I think there was only about 13,000 there in attendance. And we were under that shade area, which was kind of like a little party zone, right? They had a lot of students section under there getting rowdy. By the second half, they were dwindling down in numbers, and more Aztecs started to gravitate towards underneath that shade, that end zone. So that was really cool. I had a great experience. It wasn't a big time college experience, let's be honest. I don't even think it was really up to Mountain West standards. Maybe the bottom Mountain West standard as far as like amenities or anything like that. I mean, it was very bare bones, but there was a very big charm about it to me, dude. I mean, we drove out of the city of Chicago, got out there, in just this sleepy little college town with not much around it. And it was just like you saw right there, the Aztecs truck just parked right outside the stadium. I mean, it's literally like right there. It's like, hey, everybody just pull up in your car, walk through the neighborhoods. You're right there in the stadium, open access. So it had a little bit of a charm there too, right? So we'll see if they develop around the stadium, maybe a little more, add a couple things when they join the Mountain West. I wouldn't hold my breath, but I had a great time, man. It was a great experience.
Yeah, I mean, just being at that game on the road, and for me, especially with my dad there, but I totally agree with you. I mean, it didn't even seem like a Mountain West stadium. It's a very old stadium. I think we're like what, 6-0 there, 7-0. or 7-0 against NIU, but I think the first game that we played was like 50 years ago or something like that.
The first
So
game,
it's a very, very old stadium, and it shows. There's not a lot of amenities there,
No.
and but I had great seats. I mean, I can't really complain about the view from my seats, because I was right there on the 30-yard line behind the bench, and I could clearly see the game.
It's a basic college football stadium. Nothing, no frills, nothing much to write home about. Of course, I'm letting some of our other Mountain West fans know about it, so they'll get to experience it soon enough. Fiend, let's get into the game. Let's get into it, because it was 6-3. It was an ugly game. There's no way to sugarcoat it. I'm kind of glad that we were going to sit up there in the sun with you guys and with the rest of Aztecs fans, family, friends, all that stuff. I'm kind of glad I didn't sit over there, to be honest with you, man, just because it wasn't an exciting game from the standpoint of big plays or scoring. And I felt like if I was going to sit out there in that perspective, I would have been very frustrated. So the fact we kind of went behind the end zone, there was, the students were there. It just added a little bit more juice to it. Surprisingly, me, Dan, and James, those guys, dude, they were staying positive throughout the whole game. No matter the miscues, the penalties, the missed opportunities, all of that, because there was a lot of that. We were still very positive because, like I said earlier, to get a road victory, dude, you got to take them. You got to take them however you can get them. It came down to the final play of the game. Gabriel Placencia got the game winner. But let's start with the defense. Can we start with the defense? I mean, you said it yourself. Kurt Kenny wrote an article, three things, and it was like defense, like Dylan. Hot fire. The defense is spitting hot fire, dude. 39 points they've given up all season, and 36 of them were from Washington State. So,
well, no, they really gave up 37 because there was a safety,
right?
That the Aztecs gave up when they were on the sidelines. So they didn't even give up those points.
Facts. Makes sense. So 3 points in the last 8 quarters. Opponents are only averaging about 9 and some change points per game against the Aztecs defense. Against NIU, they had 4 sacks and 49 passing yards against them. I know the running game was going to be something we were going to keep an eye out on. It wasn't that much of a factor either. I mean, the dudes were hitting. Those videos you took were great. So what stood out to you the most from this defensive performance?
I mean, I think we tackled well. The defensive line, was great. They didn't get a lot of push on us. I thought guys like Eric Butler had a huge game. We run that 4-2-5, but when you have kind of power running game, you need an extra linebacker up there, and Eric Butler was playing kind of outside linebacker and just firing in and making tackles and getting either tackles for loss or for little gain. And so I just think the flying to the ball guys like Owen Chambliss had a great game. I mean, sideline to sideline, he's so fast, and the tackling has gotten a lot better with this group. You're not seeing a lot of missed tackles anymore, like you did with the Washington State game. So they really started cleaning that up. And then Chris Johnson, man, he's one of the best corners in the country. I mean, statistically, you look at it, you got another pick. He's a lockdown corner. He's unbelievable. I mean, him and Trey White, on the line. I mean, we're loaded. We're loaded at every position, and we have depth. That's the hallmark of a great defense. And I think this has a potential to be an all-time great Aztec defense.
Ooh, you said it. I want to piggyback off that because I got the numbers right here to prove it. Owen Chambliss, 11 tackles. Each game is just is consistently increasing in those amounts, right? He also had 1 sack in the game as well. You brought up a good point, man. I mean, from sideline to sideline, dude, he's so quick. He's so rangy. He can cover a lot of distance. And he's not afraid to put his helmet down in there and really playing physical right now. So Chris Johnson, he got that big pick, but he also had 7 tackles to go with it too. So yeah, him and Butler coming up in run support. I mean, really doing a great job helping out the the front defenders there. Ryan Henderson got a sack. Don't want to leave him out. Sam Benjamin, I think, got a half sack along to go with it. And, I kind of want to say that, NIU's offense, they're offensively challenged right now. Their quarterback, to me, was not very good. I mean, very inaccurate throws on some throws he probably should have had. But that doesn't take away anything what this defense does. I mean, we've got 4 games now, and pretty much could have had 3 shutouts because NIU scored in their opening possession. Yeah, it was a long possession. They drove down, kicked a field goal. But like Coach said in his presser earlier, he's like, okay, let up a long drive that they get 3 points, and then the rest of the game you shut them out. Like, what else is there to say? Like, you're not going to get much better than that. So this defense is playing out of their minds right now. They're very confident. You see it, you hear it, and they got opportunities the next 2 games. So, hey, I do want to share a clip because Coach Lewis did have a presser today. We got a couple clips we want to share with you guys and kind of just talk about what he was saying. And in this clip, we're going to show this first one. He is talking about the defense, right? So let's hear what he had to say about how special this defense is absolutely playing right now. Let's see if I get the volume up. Here we go.
Going to make some hay.
Question about your defensive metrics are so impressive. Is there some intangible that Rob has brought from a creative point defensively? Let's add it on to what he inherited.
Now he's asking about Rob Arwich, the defensive coordinator there.
Yeah, I think his ability to allow the players to play free, to play clean, and to play fast, right? To allow them to play has been great. And it's something that, we saw with his development and in the way that he coached up the rushes, taking a young man in Trey White last year, right, who had never played the position, and giving him a set of tools, giving him a set of rules within the set of calls that Trey really knew, like, kind of, hey, like, within this call, you can go this far right, you can go this far left, and within those parameters of the call, with the tools that I've given you, go solve the problem, right? So that Trey didn't have to be a robot. The edges last year didn't have to be a robot. And I think you see that through all of our defense right now. Like they understand the intent of the call. They understand why we're calling it in the situations that we are. And they know that the support that they have on the boundary gives them the freedom and the confidence to cut it loose and go play fast. And so I think, again, like a lot of kids made about, hey, Aztec fast as just our style of offensive play. Like, guys, that's our identity and our brand for our program, right? To where those guys are focused, they're intentional, they're accountable to the call, they're playing smart, making good decisions. And man, they're a tough unit, right? Like they're a hard out. And what I loved about them, right? Like no matter where they, what positions they were put in on Saturday, because we didn't put them in some great positions, right? It was like, okay, put the ball down. Like, let's
I like that. It's kind of a long clip, but, I really like to hear him talk about that, Fiend, really describing how Aztec fast is not just limited to the offense, right? The defense is playing Aztecs fast, and it's really just having all those intangibles, being accountable, tough, right? All that good stuff.
It's an acronym. I mean, I think that's the misconception that people have is like Aztec fast, like going to be this blazing, fast offense, and guys on defense flying the ball. That's not it. It's an acronym, excuse me. Focus, accountable. What's it? Focus, accountable, strong, tough, or something like that. Smart and tough. So
serious.
Serious. Yeah. I mean, you can use that. The defense, Rob Orich, he's got just an amazing defense right now that he's running, and you just hope that we can continue this forward because look, our defense is lights out. Our special teams have been lights out. I don't think we gave them credit.
Can we? Can we give them some credit? Can we give them a little?
Let's give them some credit. Yeah. I mean,
well, I did say it. Yeah, Hunter Green. Go ahead, because I did say it last week.
Like all those punts that he, put inside the 20 and, gave it, flipped the field. He had 5 inside the 20. Amazing. I mean, so he's playing well. The punt coverage, Placencia is booming it out of the end zone, so there's no returns on the kicks, and then he's made every single field goal. So it's like, we're doing great on special teams, defense. Now, if we can just get the offense clicking, I'm telling you, This is a team that could contend for the Mountain West Championship
Oh,
if they get the offense going. I'm serious. They do. They have that potential, but you got to get the offense going. You don't think so?
Man, well, let's get okay. So, slow your roll. I just want to talk about special teams real quick, but you want to take theirs? You want to take that? No, I do want to give some context though, because okay, like you said, 5 punts inside the 20 for Hunter Green last week. I said he was one of the most underrated guys so far in the season, so I'm glad he validated that in such a game. This was that type of game that he really stood out, right? Yeah. I think he had a booming one of 63. That was his longest. He got some Ray Guy Award recognition, pre-recognition, so he's in talks for that. Placencia, right? Okay, it was a 25-yarder. It was a chip shot, but the winds were swirling a little bit. Before the game, his dad came up to me and said, I have a feeling he's going to get the game winner. He's going to dictate the game. His kicks, it's going to happen. And we were talking about the winds because, Windy City, Chicago area, right? What is it? 18th straight field goal. So Placencia's nails. He's nails. And I like what you brought up with the kickoffs. Yeah, kickballs. Yes. So, I mean, you pretty much give the special teams an A, except for the one play. The one play that could have set us up for a touchdown and would have just absolutely sealed the game without all the drama, a little bit of the drama there at the end. Face mask. They had the punt tackle down. I don't know what happened with that snap, but yeah, he didn't handle it. It seems like we're going out in like an all-out block every single time because they know they got Napier back there who can handle himself. He can make some dazzling plays. But even that was a little shaky on some of those punt returns. But hey, it's all good. But like you said, to bring it back, if this team, like what you're saying, has that potential to be a contender for the Mountain West, I mean, it's not realistic right now at this point with this offense, dude. It's not. Yeah, it's potential. Maybe they can get it right.
That's all it is. Yeah.
But until we see it, I mean, even against Cal, let's be honest, right? The defense had 2 scores for touchdowns, and the offense did what they needed to do. Like we talked about, Lewis kind of adjusting, kind of the way a little bit of a conservative approach, right? In the presser today, they said they left some points on the board, which they did. Left some plays on the board, right? I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready to make that statement, dude. I don't know if I can make that statement. I mean, there's a lot of talent.
My statement was they can contend if the offense gets going. If the offense does not get going, we're probably just an average team. So you got to get the offense going. But there were so many opportunities in this game to get points. We had that one drive where we kicked field goal, but I mean, we were driving and we get a 10-yard, backs us up. Now we're behind the chains.
Penalty.
We have good field position. Denegal throws it down. First down, Denegal throws it way down the. I don't know who the throw was to, but he just kind of threw it up there. It was hanging like a duck, and NIU picked it off. And all the 4th and 1s. I mean, we had plenty of opportunities to convert. Couldn't convert them. So we did, I think, leave some points on the board. We should have had more points than we did, but we didn't execute. And when you don't execute, you don't score points.
Interesting you say we didn't execute, right? It's the truth, right? Denegal looked like he went out with an injury as well. Yeah. And when they brought Bert Emanuel in, they did let him throw once, I want to say. But, I mean, it was a noticeable difference, of course. You could just tell the game plan shifted. And the way the game was going, you weren't going to risk giving their defense anything. Because, we do got to give NIU some credit, right? I know we're definitely going to be, critical of our own team because we see them all the time. But NIU, we don't see often. That's a tough program. Very respected program. You don't go in there and win easily. And no matter what deficiencies they had going on offensively, their defense, you knew they were going to bring it, right? So they were out there hitting. But I think one of the things, we can talk about, and I'm glad somebody asked Coach Lewis about today, was in the run game. And that's not the most pressing area that you would think would be the issue, right? Because we're talking about quarterback inconsistencies and all that stuff in the game plan, all that goes with it. But we played a little game at Fatty's after the game, me, James, and Dan, and it was interesting because like Dan was asking James questions and asking James to answer as if he's Coach Lewis, right? And it was cool. I wish I could have recorded it. It was an interesting conversation. And surprisingly, I think Coach Lewis was like way more candid today in the presser than what we would have thought he would have been. My issue is this, Fiend, the situational miscues that in my mind that I see, and I'm just referring to Lucky, right? There were a couple big 4th down plays, 3rd down and short plays, like the down and distance. I feel like you got a battering ram right there. You could keep the chains moving despite the miscues you had earlier. They brought him in the 4th quarter for that last drive, and it just, it's just positive yards every single time, man.
Yeah.
Or should I say mostly every single time, right? So I do want to play a little soundbite from Coach Lewis because he did get into it. Like I said, somebody did ask him. So let's hear what he had to say a little bit.
In this culture and in this building.
Lucky's been so productive. You see him getting in even greater workload, or you still see yourselves breaking up?
So last year when Coop got all the work, I didn't manage it properly. Now we're managing the workload, and I'm not doing that properly. Is that the right?
That's what some people have said.
What are you saying? What's your question?
Lucky's been so productive. You see him getting more of the workload, or you still see yourselves?
I think he's been very productive with the workload that he's gotten. And as we continue to move deeper into the season, we're going to continue to play the hot hand. Obviously, he finished in a very productive way. And I think his style leads to, as the game goes on, he's more of a body puncher than he is a haymaker knockout artist right now, right? And so I think as he gets more, he becomes more productive, and we will continue to manage his load with the other loads of the other guys so that we can move through the whole season, because I trust all the guys that are in that room, right? We're going to play the hot hand.
All right, Fiend, you heard it. That was pretty cool exchange there, and he did bring up last year. He's coach is such a smart dude. I mean, he's so well aware of what's going on with the fan base, and that's one thing I really appreciate him. He really cares about the fans. He cares about the culture, and he's still gonna call us out, though, right? He's still gonna call the fans out. Like, look, I gave Coop a lot of the carries, the bulk of the workload last year, and people didn't like it. And now I'm divvying it up. Playing the hot hand is what he called it there at the end. And people are not liking it. Any thoughts on that before I spill my guts?
Well, I think he did the right thing by playing Lucky at the end. I mean, that he was crucial to the game-winning drive. Getting down there, he did get drew a face mask penalty. Which got us even closer to for that game-winning field goal. And so I give him credit for that. I do think there are certain down and distances where it really makes sense for Lucky in there, and you're not really increasing his workload. I think Christian Washington, he has some room for improvement for learning how to put his foot in the ground and go forward. That 4th and 1, I showed you that photo of, like, he had a clear lane, 2 defensive linemen were engaged with offensive linemen. I mean, he easily hit that hole. You go forward for at least 3 yards, and it's a first down. And he cut, and he danced around, and that cost us time, and they were able to swarm him, and we didn't get the first down. And so a guy like Lucky, he hits that hole. And what I like about Lucky too is you can hit him behind the line of scrimmage, and he will still fall forward for, at least a yard or 2. He's always going forward. That momentum is always carrying him forward. Christian Washington is not really that kind of back. He's more of a guy that is going to excel in, out in space, right? Get him in a wheel route. I love wheel routes. Get him in the flat, for, a little pass on a flat. Get him on an end around or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, but get him out in space where he can then juke guys and get free. But having him in kind of close quarters there, in between tackles, I don't think that's where really he's going to excel. And so I'm all about I'm all about specialists, right? Putting the guys in the positions that they're going to be the most successful in. And so I just don't think that you should. I think that you should have Lucky in there short yarded situations, regardless of whether it's his turn in the rotation or not.
Every time Fiend says wheel route, we got to play.
Love my
wheel route. No, that's pretty fair. I can't figure it out, to be honest with you. I can't really put a finger on it as far as like the packages. Like, when do you have? And maybe that's a tough thing for a coach to do, right? Like, when do you bring in a certain package? Is it always alternating at the intervals, 1 and 1, or is it situational? I'm not sure, but I thought long and hard about this though, right? Because the eyeball test tells me one thing, like, yeah, Lucky should be out there, that situation, or majority of the carries, right? And then I went over to mountainwest.com and I looked at the stats, right? The stat leaders. And this isn't national, this is just conference rushing leaders. And right now, Lucky Sutton's number 3 in the conference. So he's behind Dylan Riley of Boise State, and I want to say his name right, Jaden Thomas from UNLV. And Lucky's right there, 337 yards. The next up is 360, and then 393. So
what are the carries, though?
The carries.
Yeah.
What do you think, he has more carries or less carries?
Probably less.
You sure about that?
I don't know.
They've all played 4 games. Lucky's got 67 carries. It shows here. That's what it shows here. Maybe if they got it wrong. Boise State's got the next guy up, Dylan Riley, 48 carries. Jaden Thomas, 45 carries. So, according to the numbers, Lucky's getting a lot of carries. He's getting a lot of carries. He's got the most out of these top 10 rushers in the Mountain West. So I don't know. You think you got one thing figured out in your mind, and then you look at the stats and they tell a little bit of a different story. I think what Lewis also mentioned was that he's a body puncher. Is that what he said? He's kind of like a body puncher, right? Not so much a home run threat, or however he phrased it. You look at the numbers, his longest run is 17 yards, Lucky Sutton. The next 2 runners, their longest 77 and a 70-yarder. So maybe there is a little bit of method to that madness, and it's not something that maybe people may be conjuring up in their mind, right? When you look at the numbers. And one thing we do know about this Aztecs team is, right, they do look at the analytics. They just talked about it the other week, as they look at the analytics, they look at the data, and they try to mix that in with that gut feeling, right? Lewis said he's from Wisconsin. That's big boy, Big Ten, go with your gut, 3 yards in a cloud of dust type of football that he came from. So it's just one of those things that I'm grappling with personally, right? Because I want to see Lucky out there. I want to see all of them do well. I think Christian Washington's very talented. He's got a burst that you can see doing some things down the road. He's going to do something. It's going to be a big one. But just in those situational, those 4th down and 1, 3rd and 2, I'm just going to be stubborn, which I am. Very stubborn mule. And pound the rock, give it to Lucky.
Yeah, and it's all about wins, right? It's all about getting the win. So when you look at those other players, and maybe they're not getting the carries, maybe they're passing the ball more, maybe they're not as much of a run-centric team, right? The way, and we talked about this in the after fall camp, we were watching the team and kind of getting a feel for what this is going to be like. We said it. The strength is this defense. We got all these guys returning, and our run game. And if you can just move the chains, own the time of possession, right? And you've got a great kicker who can kick it from 55. You're going to score points, enough points to give your chance a defense, for the defense to win games for you. And so that is, to me, is like how this team, that's how you get a win. You don't need explosive 77. Yeah, it's nice to get them, right? A 77-yard run or whatever. Yeah. But if you're just moving the and you get 77 yards and you get like 4 or 5 first downs, and your defense has been off the field and they're fresh, like, what's wrong with that? You know? So I think what they need to feed Lucky more. I'd like to see him get more carries. I think he's the most productive of the backs. But I do get what what Lewis is kind of doing with not overusing him so early in the season, because you don't want him to get worn down, and you want him to be there. The last 6 games of the season. Look, we fell apart last year, right? Last 5 games we lost, right? And so we need him to be there those last 5 games, as we're making a run stretch for a bowl game, or hopefully a conference championship. So I get why he's spreading it around. I just would like to see more situational football and putting guys in situations where they can be the most successful.
Absolutely. I think to kind of put a bow on this Northern Illinois game, or just at least to give some more perspective, like you said, man, you got to get those wins. Last year, at this time last year, we all know that loss to Central Michigan was a gut punch.
Yeah.
A decision or two, and you had a different result. It wasn't pretty on Saturday by any means, but the decision or two, it worked out in our favor this time. And they're eating the win. They're eating the wins. They're eating the wins like a Italian beef.
Like a Al's Italian beef, man, dipped in that gravy.
Goodness.
Some extra jardinere.
Dude,
I'll take that all day. I'll take a win. I'll take a 6-3 win all day over a loss where we put up a lot of points. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I got spoiled by Rocky Long and the defense and the hard nose, and we were winning, right? And everyone's like, "Oh, it's not exciting enough. It's not exciting enough. We need to get throw the ball down the field, and it's got to get more exciting to get people out." And what happened? Like, we lost a bunch of games, and I hate losing games, and I love winning. So that 6-3 win at NIU was ugly, but it was pretty in my eyes.
You're reading my mind, dude, because that's exactly the perspective I was having. And you could feel it from Coach's presser. Like, there's a big hint of that, where it's like, look, Rocky Long, he did some great things. Like, the season is going along that similar path of a Rocky Long team, right? We talked about it. A big offensive line, tough defense, blitzing defense, all that good stuff. We want the Aztec fast because that's what we were sold on. Let's be honest. That's what we were sold on. But if the Aztec fast ends up being, more of a defensive thing, and we're winning these games like this, I'm not too proud to say that I want to win those games like this. Winning, it feels good. It covers a multitude of sins, right? Like love, I guess. But I love to win, man. I love to win. And however you get it, you got to take it.
Yeah, amen. Amen.
So cheers to that. A victory in Northern Illinois. Great time in Chicago. To Big Al's Italian beef. And hopefully to the Padres this week, man. Hopefully to the Padres this week, winning there in Chicago.
Yeah, and to a vegan diet for the next month, probably.
I'm going to Rosati's this week for sure, dude. Gotta go to Rosati's, dude. That's gotta happen. Maybe I'll watch a game down there if I can get out for lunch or something. But
nice.
I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm seeing the chat. Let us know what you guys think. I know Rick Torado. What's going on, Rick? He said, our offensive line was like 30 pounds heavier than NIU's defensive line, right? I get that, and I think that's why we got those positive yards on the ground, that momentum. But they're tough, man. They're tough. I mean, our defenders aren't the biggest defenders on the line and linebackers either, right? But it's your scheme. It's how you attack. It's your pre-snap reads and knowing what the offense is going to do, right? I mean, those dudes are tough, man. Dudes are tough.
Yeah, those defensive tackles played well. I mean, Sam Benjamin was great in this game. Finau, he was great. Christian Clay came up big with Trey White on that 4th down play. So, yeah, they played lights out. I mean, all the levels of the defense played great this this game.
And thank you to everybody for showing love out there. We had a great time. It's great to see family, friends, new fans, all that good stuff. So there's not much more I could say, man. It was just a great trip. Definitely a great trip.
For sure.
Aztec Fast, free Aztec season tickets. Woo!
I like that.
Hey man,
the stands.
Okay, all right. You gonna bring that, Rick? You gonna bring that? You can bring that energy. I'm not through with Coach's presser. Not through. He had a special message for you fans that because they're gonna get out in the community. We've got Colorado State this Friday. It's a short week, and hey, I held the admin's feet to the fire in an article last week. Like, we can have big time college football in San Diego if they want it. How bad do they want it? Are they going to have the will to be dedicated to getting out in the community, offering incentives for tickets to season ticket holders, new fans, kids, right? You got to pack it out with families. You got to bring kids in there, man. You got to get the young ones watching Aztec football so they can fall in love with this beautiful game and state. So, what did Coach Lewis have to say to the fans today? What did he have to say a little bit? Let's check it out.
Last year, we went on the road really far away from home, had adversity in the travel, go into Mexican country, and we come up short. Okay, that's done. All right, well, we went on the road. We were met with adversity. The guys showed character. They showed resilience. They showed connection. They showed fight. They showed toughness. They showed love to finish together, and they found a way to win. Like, there was good energy on the boundary. There was good encouragement. There was good enthusiasm. 3-1 coming out of conference play. I think we all would have signed up for that at the start of the year. And again, as great as that is, it doesn't matter. We got to get better. Again, because we know what we signed up for. And I love our fans. They are fanatical, and I love them. I can't wait to see them on Friday show up and be fanatical for us and generate more, illegal procedures and false start penalties and all that they've done since day one, since we've been here. All right. And build off and be better from where we were last time against Cal. Right. Like, cool. You guys got high standards for us. Awesome. I love it. I got high standards for our city too. I need 1% of San Diego County to show up so we can sell out Snapdragon Stadium. I need 1% of San Diego County to show up so we can sell out Snapdragon Stadium.
Woo! 1%, Fiend. 1%. He needs the 1%ers in San Diego to show up. The 1%ers. Did I hear that right? The 1%ers?
Yeah, he sure did.
Or 1%. Coach Lewis wants 1%. Coach Lewis wants 1%, but I think maybe San Diego State wants the 1%ers. Lower the tickets, guys. Lower the tickets, and you'll get 1% of San Diego in that building. But I love it. Coach Lewis, he's preaching, man. He's speaking his truth, and I'm here for it. So yeah.
Yeah, and he said he's going to be back out on campus in class, getting the students out, which I love. He's doing the outreach. He's doing what he needs to do, and let's continue this, man. The Cal game was special, with all the fans that showed up, and he's right. I mean, we had a big impact on that game, and we need to make that a home field advantage.
Oh yeah. Love it. Gotta love it. I didn't know Cindy Crawford was from DeKalb. Fiend, did you know that?
I thought she was from Chicago. Yeah, I didn't know from
DeKalb. Captain Eli for the win. Best comment of the afternoon. Absolutely. 88 millimeters is the look of Fiend's mullet.
I was way
rocking it. Rocking it. Yeah, man. Well, whoever's going to be there on Friday, we encourage you guys to show up. We'll be down there. Sons of Montezuma tailgating at the Yellow Lot as usual.
The mullet will be there.
The mullet will be there. All 88 millimeters. Can we lower the price? You can lower the price. I think they'll do it. Either way, it's I think it's Hispanic Heritage Game. They're gonna have the game will be broadcasted in Espanol on radio, on your radio dial. I can't remember exactly which one, but I thought that was really cool. So we will be there. We will be there. Let's get into Colorado State in just a second, because guys, I gotta put my plug, man. I gotta put my plug, guys. We thank you guys for all the support this season and all of our seasons. And so right now, of course, you guys see it up there in the top left of the screen. sonsofmontezuma.com, our online shop. Save 15% off using just that promo code MONTY. You can check out all of our hats. We got, of course, some new tees available, some new styles going on. We got the Fear the Spear. We brought it back. We brought it back by, I don't know if it was popular demand, but somebody was demanding it, so I brought it back. And of course, the Danger Zone. We got our crew that sits behind the end zone, the south end zone. That is the Danger Zone. Of course, fourth quarter Danger Zone when you enter in. And yeah, so check out sonsofmontezuma.com. 50% off using promo code MONTY. We appreciate all your guys' support. And yeah, whatever we could do, get some more gear out there in the streets. Aztec in the streets. And Scholar in Snapdragon. Yeah.
I thought you were going somewhere else with
that. I know you did, Fiend. Get your mind out of that. Colorado State. I thought they were going to be the sleeper team of the Mountain West, Fiend. That's what I thought. I mean, they still could technically because we're starting conference play, Fiend. It's that time of the year. Conference play begins. First game. Woo-wee. 4 games. We're 3-1. You got to win this game to start off conference play 1-0. What are you going to say, man? What are you going to say?
Well, what I was going to say is, it's important to them because they made a change in play calling, right? They weren't getting the results they wanted out of conference. This is a fresh slate here. Your record from non-con, but everyone's 0-0 right now in conference, and so they're starting fresh. They handed over the play calling to Matt Mummy, who's a son of Hal Mummy, air raid offense. So it's gonna be interesting to see if this team breaks out. I don't know if they can do it in a week, or how much of the difference the play calling is going to be. You got to figure that they are going to air it out more, and they've kind of had our number. Last couple of years, I think they've had our number. So I would not sleep on this team at all. They're 1-3 right now with a very close win over Northern Colorado. They need a win bad, right, to turn their season around. So you got to figure they're gonna come out. They're gonna come out swinging in this game.
You're right. They are pretty desperate. They're pretty banged up too. For those of you guys who want your little scouting report out there, they are pretty banged up. They've been playing 2 quarterbacks recently, like you said, Fiend, changing the play caller, and that's a big deal, right, for a head coach to kind of relinquish that. I mean, that may tell you there's either some other things going on behind the scenes, or he just needs to lighten his load, take some off of his plate. But they've got pretty low statistics when it comes to the Mountain West right now. Like I said, I was kind of looking at the Mountain West and how everything stacks up. Like for an air raid offense, which is what they run offensively, they're pretty poor, man. I mean, when it comes to passing, they're not very good. They're in the bottom third of the Mountain West. I mean, even Air Force is ahead of them when it comes to passing. So,
which is surprising because Braden Fowler Nicolosi has been a starter in the Mountain West, which I think for the last couple of years, or maybe it was just last year. And he's not starting out, with a good year this year. So I don't know what's up with that. Maybe he just doesn't have the pieces around him they had in the past. But I from what I saw, I thought he was a pretty good quarterback. So I don't really know what to expect with this team defensively. I'm not sure if they're
decent.
They're okay. Yeah,
they're decent, right? I mean, their scores have all been pretty low scoring. They're not scoring points offensively, but they're also really not allowing a ton of points other than that Washington State game. But even that wasn't crazy.
Well, we know what that's like.
Yeah.
Kind of similar outcomes there. So, we are favoring this game. I'm not surprised that we are. I think it was 5.5 favorites, and we should win. It's at home. We played lights out last 2 times we played at home, so we've got that in our favor. and let's use that energy of Snapdragon and come out and, punk these guys like we punked Cal.
There may be something to that, right? Because the offense is feeling pretty bad.
Yeah,
the Aztecs offense, they know they dropped the ball. I mean, they were this close from really, being held accountable for this game against NIU, man. And so you've got to be coming out of that game with the new leash on life. Like, look, we've got to get this thing together. Colorado State, they can be had. Before the season, like I said, this was my sleeper pick. I thought they were coming in veterans, like you said, the quarterback, Nicolosi. You got Jay Norvell is just known to have his offenses putting up points, And the scheme, I'm not worried about the scheme. Like, if this was Nevada, when he was coaching Nevada, like, they had some players back then. Carson Strong, right? They had Dubs out there. I mean, they had some players that would really get you worried. But I'm not worried in the sense because I know our secondary is so talented. But at the same point in time, that offense is going to give them positions. They're going to put them in positions for deep balls. They like to go vertical, right? They're going to stretch you out all over the field. So they're going to take shots. We've just got to do what they do and make the plays. And I'm confident we're going to make them. But offensively, it just comes back to that, right? It just comes back to that. Colorado State's solid offensively. They're not terrible.
Right.
They're not terrible. And they're going to come in expecting to, underdog. I wouldn't have said they would be an underdog at the beginning of the year, but they're coming in with the mindset they're going to win.
Yeah, and throwing downfield is going to open up your running game too. NIU was really one-dimensional in that aspect. Their quarterback could not throw it down the field, and so he really wasn't a threat. And so when you know that the quarterback's not a threat, you can kind of cheat up and to help stop the run. I think the Aztecs did a very good job of that. But when you got to respect both the run and the pass, which Jay Norvell's teams, they do throw it all over the field, that can then leave you a little vulnerable in run defense. And so it's going to be interesting to see with the new play caller. I'm just interested to see what changes are going to be made this week. If they because if they are putting stuff that hasn't been on film, that could be really difficult for us to stop.
I don't know if I would say putting stuff that like not on film, right? I mean, they've been together, like Norvell was saying, him and the new play call, like they've been together for many years. I don't know if they've been pulling anything you haven't seen on film. And the quarterback, I don't think it's Nicolosi anymore. I think it's a different quarterback playing. So they got some film on them, but it might just be the comfortability. I kind of think there might be something behind the scenes going on, like maybe just more comfortable taking instruction or leadership, or maybe something was said. I mean, that can create a wedge. But I'm totally spitballing. I'm just projecting like maybe that's the case. But I don't know. Let's hear from Coach Norvell a little bit. He's an interesting cat. He's from Wisconsin area, of that whole Midwest area. He kind of has certain mannerisms, kind of like Coach Lewis, right? Say certain words, certain things, and he's an interesting cat, though, man. Let's hear what he has to say on a couple things. If I could cue it up and just get a little taste of what Jay Norvell likes to talk about.
We fix this, it leads to this. We become more explosive. Is it a step-by-step thing?
No, I just think we're getting closer and closer in our execution. And as we do that, we'll be more explosive and we'll have more explosive plays. Part of the football season, 4 games in, is we're pushing consistency, but we're pushing individual accountability. We have to be our best selves, every individual, players, coaches, and we need our players to continue to develop their skill level. And so that personal accountability is important. When we watch the film and we point out things that need to be corrected, guys got to take that and make it personal. And so we're seeing that. We're seeing that from a lot of players. We've got a lot of young players that are improving every time we walk on the practice field. And we got to be the team that continues to improve every week we play in conference now.
Because when you look at SDSU's pitched a couple shutouts, so how much do you look at what they're doing, and how much do you just look at what you're doing to improve you?
You look at both. Really, our opponent is we look at our opponent to understand scheme, to understand how our package fits versus theirs, but it still comes down to us and what we do and how we execute.
I wanted to stop that there because they kind of piggyback what some of the thoughts we were having earlier in the season, right? And how these coaches approach, like, it's about what we do. We see what the defense does scheme wise, so we understand it, but it's really about what we do.
It's kind of like listening to Lewis there.
Exactly. That's exactly where I was going. And both offenses are struggling a little bit right now, right? And they've had successes before elsewhere, right? So it's not a mystery. They know what they're doing. They know way more than us do. But it's just an interesting approach how they're coming with, it's about what we do, our accountability and executing, right? To where they're at a higher level. It's about what we do. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get the buy-in from the players, right? And they need to have ownership, and it's teaching life lessons too, about being accountable for your actions and what you do. And it's not just on the football field. And so, at the end of the day, it is about executing a game plan. And when you're not executing a game plan, which is what we have seen from the offense, like I said, I can put points on the board, and it looks like with Colorado State, they haven't been putting a whole lot of points on the board either because they're not executing well. And I don't know the full reason of that. You said injury, could just be that they're also young. Maybe there are a lot of transfers and they still need time to gel and to, play as a cohesive unit. But very, very similar, just seems like the coaching philosophies and how they approach the game.
I think we're going to win. I actually feel good about this game.
We should win.
I think it's gonna be a close one again, though. To be honest with you, I think offensively we're gonna come out charged and make some improvements. But how much can they make in? How much can a difference make in 5 days? What is it? 6 days turnaround, right, on a short week? That's going to be interesting to see for me. I know it's an emotional game, man. So, maybe there will be a big difference playing at home on a Friday. It's going to be a different dynamic. But I'm feeling pretty good. Should we make some score predictions? I think we should. Sure. The game is this Friday, October 3rd, 7:30 kickoff. I want to say on what is it? Is it on? It's not on CBS Sports, right? I think it's on FS1. I want to say FS1.
I think FS1 usually is on Friday nights. Yeah.
Yeah. So don't watch it on TV, guys. Come on down to the stadium. Watch it with us. We'll be there. Yellow lot. Come tailgate with us. I'm going to go ahead and say the offense is able to produce some points, but they're not going to do anything crazy. I don't think it's going to be crazy out of hand. What was it against Cal? Will the defense score? Possibly. I think I'll factor that in. Go from not having any turnovers to hey, let's get another pick six or something. So I'm going to go ahead and say 27 Aztecs, Colorado State 13.
Okay.
I think that's where I'm going to go because I figure, our defense is going to play. They're going to play lights out again. That's what I'm thinking. What you got, Fiend?
I'm going low scoring again. I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I think both offenses are struggling. I'm going to say Aztecs 17, Colorado State 9.
Oh, I thought you were going to say nothing. I see it in the chat. I thought you were going to go there. I thought you were going to keep the streak up. Nobody has scored against the Aztecs in Snapdragon Stadium yet this season. Nobody. Can the Rams be the first to do it? We'll see. We shall find out on Friday. I hope you guys are there to find out with us. Make sure you guys come out to the game. Anything else we need to get into, Fiend? Because Padres this week, man, it's do or die.
Some
It's
big
do or die,
games.
dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
3-game series, best out of 3. If you,
Are they
if
all
you
at
can
Wrigley?
get all at Wrigley,
Oh,
man.
wow.
All
That's
at
tough.
Wrigley.
Tough place to play.
I
So
don't know.
hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully the wind's blowing out though. You know, we got some sluggers. So the wind's blowing out. You might have a shot to put some in the basket or out on Waveland. So
All day game too, right? I think they're all like around
are
noon.
they? Yeah.
Noon start time.
Sounds
So
about right. It's a nice time to reset, you know, see if they can go out there and get a win.
I got my SD on just for the Padres. Let's go. Well, thank you guys for joining the stream. I know it's a pretty laid back episode today. I'm exhausted from Chicago. Chicago's
Yeah, me
great.
too.
Got to recover so we could be fresh by Friday. Can you imagine what the team? You know, of course, they didn't have fun in Chicago like we did, though. So.
No.
Yeah. Oh man! All right, I'm on my way to Rosati's. Go give me a. They got Italian beef sandwiches there too, man.
They do. They're pretty good, but that square cut pizzas, thin crust pizzas. Yeah, that's where it's at. Let's go get some of that.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys for joining. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Cheer on our Aztecs this Friday night. Share the episode with a friend, with an Aztec buddy, or a fat football friend, or a football friend, just a football. Until next time, everybody. SonsOfMontezuma.com. Go Aztecs. Beat the Rams.
Go Aztecs. Beat the Rams.
See you guys.